Today I would like to talk about my experience with BPD and how I found out I was borderline and how I got diagnosed. So I've always struggled a lot with self-esteem issues, and I wouldn't really talk about it a whole lot. My relation with my parents wasn't really the best, and when I grew up I had to face a lot of emotional neglect and abuse mostly. But I never quite realized that because the effects of it didn't start showing until my teenagehood. I was always a really good kid. I always had the perfect grade. I was really quiet. I didn't cause a whole lot of trouble. But when in 2020, I think it's when I started really noticing I started struggling a lot with being rude to people, I suppose I could say. My classmates didn't really like me, not that I would do rude things outright, but when people would try to come near me, I would be very passive aggressive. I started to kind of despise everyone, and the person I despised most was myself. I really hated myself. And so when COVID hit, I got isolated, and I was by myself on the internet, and I started making friends on the internet because I had a lot of free time. And that's kind of when things started to become a lot more troubled, because I had my first experience with what people refer to as a favorite person. Having a favorite person when you suffer from BPD isn't like having a best friend or something like that. It's kind of like your brain telling you, this person is the one, they're gonna help you, they're gonna fix you, they're so great, you put them on a pedestal, and you cannot let them go, you cannot let them abandon you like everyone else has abandoned you before. You cannot let that happen. And so I didn't know that at all, and so when I met this person, I thought that, wow, they're great. I had a hard time understanding the concept of them having flaws, and I always thought that they despised me and that they were about to leave, when that was not the case. The only thing that could ever make them leave was my instability and my own fear of them leaving, because when I was afraid of them leaving, I would go kind of crazy and I would do a lot of nonsensical things, and it was not great. With that obsession over this person also started some self-harming habits, which I had never wanted to do anything like that before, but it started becoming a necessity to cope with all of the things that I would feel. And I had been suicidal for many years since I was in middle school, but I never thought much of it. But it turned from me vaguely thinking about death from time to time to me constantly wanting to die and stuff like that. So it was really hard to push through all of that. I tried to get a psychiatrist and they tried medicating me, but the medication was inappropriate and it worsened a lot of my issues unbeknownst to me. The one thing that made me wake up and really helped me get on my way to improve was in 2021. At some point I had gone way too far with that friend and they ended up leaving for good. I let them leave because I realized I turned into a really shitty friend and not that great of a person in general. I treated a lot of people around me not that good. So yeah, it was really hard to accept that, but it was necessary at the end, because this is kind of what pushed me to go to a psych ward twice. I've talked about it, and that's where I got diagnosed, and that's how I slowly started my journey towards being a better person. And since there's a happy ending to the story, I'm now friends again with a lot of people that I used to treat really poorly, and I've managed to make amends with them, and now we're really good friends, and it's much healthier than it used to be. And I'm so happy that I can now appreciate them as people without putting them on a pedestal and having a warped vision of them. In general, BPD can make you feel really lonely, really scared. And to anyone who has BPD, all I gotta say is you got this. I know it's such a struggle every day. I still struggle a lot. It's just that I managed to keep it in check and I'm medicated properly now. But I know how difficult it may be. I'll put some hotlines that might be needed if you've been having those types of thoughts for a while in the description. If I managed to get better from the absolute mess that I was, even if I admit I managed to get through it rather fast because I had the resources next to me that were available, I know for a fact that you can do it too. Anyone can improve as a person. I hope this explanation maybe was interesting enough or it was relatable to you, and I hope that you enjoyed the art in the background. It's a very personal piece, and I've been experimenting a lot with the whole creepy cute aesthetic recently, and I think it's looking pretty cool. You'll get the final result in just a second. Here it is. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'll try to post videos every day, and I'll see you later.